Episode 2, Girls in Paradise, Part 3. What? Sensei? At that moment, Sho and Derd were startled by a voice coming from the bushes behind them and jumped. Myron appeared through the bushes, soaking wet, with a grimace in her eyes. She had probably been hit by the rain earlier. Sensei, what are you doing here? I wanted to eat venison steak with horseradish butter and sauces. I also have a problem with leaving you two alone together. So I came along and got caught in the rain and now this. And what's more, the two of you are hunched over each other, making out with each other, using me as a story. You've got some nerve, don't you? Huh? It's not like that. I don't care what you say. I want to be a part of this. What? Myron opened her arms and suddenly stepped in between Sho and Derd, grabbing them and hugging them. Both Sho and Derd's clothes were soaked from being held by the wet Myron. Oh, it's cold. Here, warmer one, warmer two. Come closer. Rub my hands. Rub my feet too. You can rub my feet too. Oh no. Sensei, my clothes are soaking wet and I feel sick. Oh, yeah, you'd better take them off. Myron said flatly and suddenly started to take off her clothes. Whoa! Wait up, warmer one. Don't you dare run away. Jeez. Sho tried to escape, but Myron pulled him back with tremendous force. Oh, I'm going to catch a cold if I keep this up. The pants are fine, but let's take off the bra. Myron continued, casually removing her t-shirt and then her bra as well. Underneath, she was down to just a pair of panties, and he couldn't look directly at her. Boo. Sensei, please don't do this to me. I'm fine. I'm not going to be completely naked like this morning. Sho was dismayed to see that. Was still like that. They headed for a stump with mossy roots under Myron's direction. Myron, who was barefoot for some reason, sat down on the stump and wiped the moisture off her body with Sho's clothes. Wait, please don't wipe yourself with people's clothes. Pfft. What, Shokuen, is that a pun? No, it's not. It's just cold. Huh. That reaction is so cute. Mwah. Myron placed her cold hand right on Sho's neck, causing his body to shrink as he desperately tried to get rid of the hand, but it was quickly replaced by the other one. Sensei, are your hands cold? I'll warm them up for you. Oh, you're so sweet, Derd. You're so different from some of the DTs. Stick with. Myron's body was wet and shiny, and she was a beautiful woman with a great figure, which made him angry. But a frustrated Sho at least tried to fight back. At least if Sensei had been wearing clothes, I could have rubbed her. Oh! So you preferred it on top of my clothes, huh? Hurry up and tell me, you maniac boy. Then I'll just put on my pants, so hurry up. Where are you trying to touch me? You're not allowed to talk about the bottom line. What the hell are you doing here in the light of day? Damn it. We're in the middle of a deserted mountain with a nice girl naked in front of you. What a coward DT is. I'm sure you're not the only one. I'm definitely the weakest as a guy in this power struggle. I wonder if that's true? Derd nodded her head, but she was an alien with bioenhancement, and Myron, though an earthling, was a large woman with military experience, so there was no way Sho could win. Well, power doesn't simply mean arm strength, either. Myron mumbled as she reached for Derd's chest. Kaya? Sensei, what are you doing? Because your cleavage looks so warm. Let me put my hands between them. No. Why don't you just do it yourself? What's so funny about putting it in yourself? Besides, you're going to get cold again after you've started to warm up. I'll write something good about you on my report card. Well, this girl sucks. Derd laughed and said, that tickles. No. Sho's cheeks reddened at the sound of Derd's coquettish voice, but he turned away so as not to see it. Derd and I are here to pick wasabi, so please don't interrupt us anymore. Don't you want to put wasabi butter on your steak? I guess you could say that. But I want to soak in the warmth of Derd's chest like this for a while longer. Or do you think Shokuen will warm them up for me? Don't be too cocky. I'll tell Palti when we get home. Well, Why don't you two go pick up some wasabi? The sun is coming out, and I'm going to stay here and dry my clothes and warm myself in the sun. Myron, who had apparently been mildly traumatized by Palti, immediately pulled away from them with a pale face and suddenly showed a more understanding attitude. Haha. Okay, so let's continue with the wasabi picking, Derd. Haha. Yeah, I guess so. And so Sho and Derd set about picking wasabi again, while Myron lazily soaked up the sun on a large leaf. Following Derd's lead, Sho collected about a dozen stalks of wasabi and then spent an hour or so helping with the simple maintenance of the wasabi fields for the next time they came. After finishing their work, they wiped off their sweat and returned to Myron's place. What? Sensei, you're sleeping. I guess she has no idea she's a teacher. Myron was lounging on a leaf, still wearing only her panties. Derd poked her cheek and said, Sensei, but Myron continued to sleep with a pleasant look on her face. So, what do we do now? As I recall, it's quite a ways to where we're camping, right? I think it's twice as far as the distance from Sho's house to the school, isn't it? Derd replied flatly. Sho had a bad feeling about this, but was desperately trying to think. But, Derd is bio-enhanced, I believe, right? Palti told you? Oh, I am. But my powers are normally reserved, so I can only give you instantaneous power, okay? What's wrong with that? No, it's nothing, sorry. I knew I'd have to carry Sensei. Then Sho had a flash of inspiration. That's right. We can carry her in the Guardian. It'll be easier, and Sensei won't be sexually harassed in any weird way. Yeah, that's right. Sho's eyes lit up at the strange idea, but I wonder if Sensei is treated as a Guardian field resistant. Field resistance treatment. Derd nodded and replied, yes. You know, Sho, the Guardian is a high-energy force field body, so if a person touches it, it will cause a slight burn. What? Is that so? Yes. I hope this film is made of heat-resistant material. Derd said and took out the film sheet that she had used to shelter them from the rain earlier. She then made her own Guardian appear and tried to touch the film with the Guardian. Sho shouted in surprise, wow. I'm sorry, Sho. This was originally meant to be used with various films layered on top of each other, so it looks like it's impossible to use this by itself. Damn it, I'll wake her up no matter what. Haha. But if Sensei was the kind of person who would wake up immediately, I don't think Minamata-san would have had such a hard time. Sho looked at Myron, feeling despair at Derd's laughing words. Then he shrugged his shoulders. Oh, I'm going to have to carry you after all. Well, I can't just leave you here like this, so it's no use, but even if you do, I don't want you in just your panties. Oh, I'll put a shirt on Sensei for you then. Thanks, Derd. With that, and Myron's shirt on, Sho carried Myron on his back with a sigh, while Derd packed up the rest of their stuff into a backpack and carried the clothes and shoes they couldn't fit in. All right, then let's go home. Nodding at Derd's words, Sho lazily walked towards the campsite. The thought of carrying such a heavy load up there made him cringe, but being on top of a mountain, he was fortunate that the temperature was cool. With a few breaks along the way, Sho and Derd, plus a heavy load, were able to make it back to camp safely in about an hour. However, it was difficult for them to cross the unstable bridge with the large Myron in his arms. So Sho managed to settle Myron down on the summer bed that Derd had brought for her, covering her with a thin blanket. Good work, Sho. I'm really tired. My legs are already wobbling. Sensei, you're like a little kid, falling asleep in the middle of the road and needing to be collected. It's not like she's a little kid. Let's have lunch soon. Oh yeah, I guess so. Well, Sensei said she wanted to eat venison with wasabi butter. Let's make sandwiches then. It doesn't matter if it's cold, right? Sensei. Derd responded energetically, and Sho immediately started to get ready. He sliced the roasted venison that had been saved into thin slices and put some finely chopped wasabi leaves between the slices, as Derd had suggested. They didn't have butter, as expected, but they put it in the bread that Palti had brought, and it was done. Okay, it's done. Yes, it looks delicious, Sho. Yes, it does. Now I'll make some coffee. Sho, who was in a better mood, was making coffee for himself and Dirt when a heavy voice came from behind them. Oh, that smells so good. Are you two having dinner alone? What? What? Both Sho and Dirt were startled by Myron's appearance, who appeared as if she were a bear. Hey, what's up, Sensei? You're finally awake, aren't you? Geez, I had to carry you on my back again, didn't I? Please stop falling asleep so quickly here and there. And please get your ass in some decent clothes. Yes, I'm sorry. But Shokuin, while saying that, you are happy to burn your eyes with my undressed figure and touch my body here and there, aren't you? I'm sure you'll be happy to hear that. Gosh, why am I being treated like a tsundere? There's plenty for you too, Sensei. Come on, let's eat. With Dirt's voice, lunch finally began. Oh! Happiness. Thanks for the food. Dirt stretched with a truly happy expression on her face. I'm definitely full, but I don't feel like I've eaten much. While saying this, Sho glared at Myron, who was smiling and sipping her after-lunch coffee. Why didn't you just eat slowly? I couldn't take my time next to Sensei, who was growling and eyeing Dirt's sandwich like a large carnivore. Oh, that's my fault? What? If you feed me and make me miss you, I might be able to do something for you. You're already living next to my house. There's a big difference between living there and being familiar with you, Shokuin. I'm already familiar with you, and I don't need you to be any more familiar with me. Please go take a shower and change your clothes as soon as possible. After a rest, I want to catch some fish for dinner before Palti and the others come back. Shokuin, you seem to like the fish here a lot, don't you? It tastes a lot like salmon, which I'm familiar with. Oh, that's right. Salmon is a breakfast staple for the Japanese. All right. I'll help you with it later as a thank you for carrying me. I'm going to take a shower now. Myron waved and went down to the first floor. Sho and Dirt quickly cleaned up the mess. About 30 minutes later, using some of the small fish that Palti and her friends had caught the day before and left for live bait, Sho, Dirt, and Myron started fishing at a leisurely pace. They were able to catch about 10 fish by the time the girls returned. They seemed to have had a great harvest, and they came back with 3 large cases in their guardian. This was the end of the camping trip. After that, everyone was busy preparing to go home. It took nearly 3 hours to organize and take in all the things they had collected, transform the camping units, and clean up the area around the lake where they had stayed. Finally, they were ready and Sho and the others left the lake, each with their own luggage. Hey, did you guys forget anything? No problem. It's fine. No problem. No problem. No problem. No problem. Everyone replied to Myron's voice as they finished their checks. Then let's get the hell out of here. Come on, you guys. Activate your guardians. As Myron said this, Aaliyah let out a short, I was just thinking, Sho's guardian can't be activated unless it's under the cliff, right? Aaliyah's casual remark caused everyone to raise their voices. That's right, that's what I thought. Well, we're going home first. Come on, you guys, get me out of here. With Sho's head in his hands, Myron quickly got inside the unit with the incubator containing P and Pio. Oh wait, at least give me a ride down to the bottom too. Shokuin, this is also training. It's not like I'm doing this because I want to, but I have to keep my mind off of it for Shokuin's sake. You know what I mean, right? No, I don't know, Sensei. I'm the one who brought the sleepy sensei back to the campground today. Are you going to return the favor? Shokuin, if you're Japanese, you know this word, don't you? That's the one. This is the one. Come on, you guys. Don't spoil Shokuin. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get the hell out of here. Myron quickly closed the door and left Sho outside. Dirt, Apuesta, and Palti stared at Sho and Myron alternately with puzzled faces. Only Aaliyah seemed unconcerned, but all 4 of them finally looked at Sho and said, You. I can't help it. It's for Sho's own good, right? Sho, Keep up the good work. It's a field trip until you get home. Sorry, Sho. Be careful. Excuse me, Sho. I'd love to lend a hand, but please be careful. Huh? 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 Wait. One by one, the girls patted Sho on the shoulder encouragingly, activated their guardians, and flew away with the unit containing Myron. Guys, Sho's cries were futile, and the girls gradually became smaller and smaller until they could no longer be seen or heard. Sho, now alone, dropped to his knees and nodded. Damn. This at the last minute. But this was no time for whining. Night would soon fall if he didn't start moving. If it did, it was hopeless. Sho would have to get up. All right, I'll do it. I'll do it. He made up his mind and started to descend the mountain with his luggage. However, as expected, it was not an easy task. In fact, descending a mountain is much harder on the legs than climbing it, and the fatigue level is higher. This made it possible to go faster, but it was very difficult to descend while being careful not to slip and fall. In the first place, this mountain was not even well paved, so the path was even steeper. But I did it. Falling down a few times, Sho reached the bottom of the cliff just as the mountain began to get dark in earnest. Then he looked at the sky, which was almost enveloped in darkness, and said, "That's dangerous. If it had taken as long as it did to get here, we'd be in trouble." Muttering, Sho wiped the sweat off his face and immediately activated his guardian and flew straight to his familiar home, but a tent. I'm finally here. Sho returned to the tent near the beach in the dim light, and thanks to the lights that the girls had lit as landmarks, he was able to return without getting lost. After disarming the guardian, Dird and the others came running up to Sho. Sho, you're finally back. You're late, Sho. What have you been up to? Sho, are you okay? Are you hurt? Sho, are you okay? I was so worried when you came so late. Everything is fine. I just scraped my leg a little. I'm sorry for worrying you. Sho smiled wryly, and the girls all looked relieved. But I did that in a pretty big hurry. I was able to get down that cliff in about half the time it took me to get there, and I worked pretty hard. I'm tired. As Sho talked about his saga, the girls looked at him with puzzled expressions. Then Aaliyah, who was trying to hold back a giggle, said, "What? That's what you meant after all? Well, that's really good work, Sho." What? Aaliyah? I knew it. No, you can use the guardian at the bottom of the cliff, right? If that's the case, you could have just picked the right spot and jumped off the top in a flash. Huh? No way. No, but Sho is a very honest person, so I knew you would come down in earnest. I was right, wasn't I, guys? Sho, you came down just like normal. But you did great. Good job. Sho, don't worry about it. Oh, sure, that would have been quick. Oh, what the hell is my problem? Sho collapsed in a heap, and Palti gently placed a hand on his shoulder. Sho, I'm glad you're okay. Besides, it's good to think of this as training for a fight, isn't it? Palti, smiling, she was still kind, and Sho felt his heart melt. We'll be ready for dinner soon, so please go wash your hands first. We'll take care of the preparations for you. Thank you. After changing in his tent, Sho washed his face and hands in the spring, wiped his face with a t-shirt wildly, and returned to Dird and the others as if he was caught by the good smell. A few days later, Sho was at the base as usual, training with the Cabots. Yes. So much for today's simulation training, shall we? Yes. With a single word from M, today's training was over. Sho slumped down on the spot and wiped off the sweat with a towel. Good work, Sho One-chan. I feel a little better. Sho-san, you're moving much better. I think you'll be okay for the next fight now. Thank you. Despite the praise, Sho still wasn't satisfied. Even if things went well in the simulation, he didn't know if they would go well in reality. In the first place, Sho himself did not feel that his movements had improved. Can I ask you one more time? Sho said. The Cabots must have seen the look in Sho's eyes and understood his intentions. But on behalf of the others, replied, Shokuin. Then let's go outside today and actually use the Guardian, shall we? At M's suggestion, Sho was now flying in the skies of the island. What do you think, Shokuin? Is it still different from flying in a simulation? Yes. I think it feels different when it's real. I guess so. Let's incorporate this kind of training in the future. It was a training session, but Sho just flew around the island leisurely. M said that using the Guardian while experiencing the real world in this way would give him a better sense of unity and be good training. It's a beautiful island, isn't it? It wasn't a big island, but the beauty of it was still stunning. It's nice, Sho One-chan. It looks so comfortable. So, it's good to have a leisurely training like that once in a while. Sho continued to fly while listening to the voices of the Cabots on the communicator. It's a great way to get to know the people you're working with. As it was, Sho was flying low and checking the Guardian's behavior when he spotted something that made him raise an eyebrow. What's that? He continued his slow descent. It was the sea near the beach where he lived. There was a stone pillar sticking out of the sea. It was something he should have been used to seeing, but that time it was a little different. A part of the stone pillar had been peeled off, and it looked to Sho as if a metallic light was peeking out of it. What is it? Curious about that, Sho tried to get even closer to the stone pillar with the Guardian, but Shokuin, let's end today's training here. I want to adjust the Guardian one last time, so can you come back? Yes. I understand. While taking one last look at the stone pillar, Sho went straight back to the base. Now that he had the Guardian system, Sho's life had changed a bit. First was training. Although he still couldn't get used to the act of fighting, his mind and body gradually began to understand how to move the Guardian, and on the day of the weekly battle, he was able to deal with Dird and the others well, although he was only able to stop them with sound weapons. Also, the range of activities on the island had exploded. The Cabots cautioned him against using the Guardian on a daily basis, but the island was beautiful, and the life in this tropical resort enriched Sho's heart, even if there was a battle ahead. Sho had come to enjoy these days from the bottom of his heart. It was exactly 1 month later. Yes, sir. I'll tell him that. Yes, sir. Now, if you'll excuse me. In a dark room, Minamata was communicating with someone. As soon as he finished his communication, the secret wall covering the space was lifted and the room became brighter. It was Minamata's living room. Oh dear, what's going on? With a sigh, Minamata leaned against the back of his chair. The small terminal display in his hand showed a record of Sho's battles so far. Well, it ended up being a stalemate, just like he wanted. Cabot who was standing beside him, chuckled. Following that, F, K, and D began to speak. The only time there was a proper battle was the first time Sho One-chan participated, and the rest of the time, Sho One-chan forcibly stopped the battle with wide area sound. In addition, the more he trains, the more accurate his attacks become. You're a terrible person, Sho-san. But it's also because of the special environment. You say that, but D, isn't Shokuin's ability to always achieve the maximum results in that environment real? It's. At M's statement, D searched for a few words, then nodded. As the Cabot spoke, Minamata also spoke up. Characteristic affinity value or... No, I didn't think he had this kind of talent. It's true. It reminds me of when you first came up in space. M said happily, causing Minamata to giggle. Haha. But I was so desperate back then that I didn't even realize I had a talent. But I guess we'll never know what's going to happen in the future. I think it's going to be pretty tough. Yes, K and D. K and D. M is mysteriously convinced by the two animals' words. Then F says, You. But it's a pity that Sho One-chan is training so hard and getting results like this. It is no wonder that the results are not pleasing to them, F. M told her consolingly. F's ears drooped wistfully. Yeah, but it's definitely inevitable. I understand how you feel, Kokomo-kun, but this fight is something that has to be settled at some point. Minamata said, and the Cabits nodded to each other. What? Ban that weapon. The next day, in the school nurse's office, Sho was told by Minamata of the shocking decision of the upper management. As I suspected, the higher-ups don't take well to a prolonged stalemate. Yeah, I see. It wasn't a future that Sho hadn't imagined at all. Not really. Sho knew that he was working against the will of the higher-ups who were watching this battle, and he was aware that he was being quite reckless. But he had been able to keep the stalemate going, and he thought that maybe things would continue to go well. However, the reality was not so easy. Of course, it would be a different story if you were actively trying to win. In fact, that weapon was more effective than I expected. If you use it well, there's a chance you could beat Dird and the others. Minamata lowered his eyebrows, looking a little uncomfortable saying it. In the end, it turned out just as Minamata-san said it would. Sho slumped his shoulders and mumbled, to which Minamata quickly replied, "This fight is a decision best made by those who decide it. So, even if Dird and the girls agree with you and stop fighting, they will probably be dismissed, and another candidate will come along. So, Kokoma-kun, please remember that this battle is only to determine the winner. That means everything I did was for nothing, right?" As expected, Sho was depressed, but Minamata said, "No, that's not true." What? Sho looked up at Minamata. As a matter of fact, in exchange for the banning of that acoustic weapon, Kokoma-kun will be granted a single item, whatever he wants for this battle. At this shocking statement, Sho's eyes grew wide. What? Anything? Yeah. I don't care if it's a weapon, a new rule, anything. For example, you could use state-of-the-art equipment that the others don't have, or you could add rule conditions that are convenient for you. Oh, and of course, anything that's too unreasonable is a no-no. So, is it? In Minamata's story, Sho felt like he had found a way out. He didn't know what would be at the end of that path. The idea was very vague, and there was no concrete image yet. But Sho had a feeling that the decision of the story would probably decide the outcome of the battle. But what's good? Anyway, Sho's expression of frantic thinking had somehow changed to a cheerful one. Seeing this, Minamata also relaxed his expression a little and said, "Haha, I'm not asking you to decide right now. You should take your time and think about it." Oh, so is that so? Yes. The next battle is in a month, after all. What? Sho hadn't heard that story yet. Why did it have to be so far in advance? Minamata quickly cleared up that question for him. It's the final exam of the term. It doesn't matter if you're in space or on Earth, the main thing for students is still schoolwork. To be honest, Sho had completely forgotten about such things. Oh no. I hate exams. I don't want exams. Final exams were coming up. After school, Dird was lying down on her desk, looking depressed as her classmates were all in exam mode and started to get nervous. If you like tests, you're a true hentai. Apparently, Dird and Aaliyah didn't want to take the test. Of course, Sho didn't want to do it either if he could help it, so he listened to them with a wry smile. Final exams, huh? Do they have such things in space? Sho casually remarked. Then Apuesta and Palti replied. Yes, there is. It's only natural to make sure you're learning what they teach you. Yes, that's true. It may be in a slightly different form than on Earth, but these regular exams do exist. That's right. Sho thought that space was an unexpectedly hard place to live in. Woo. Hey guys, why don't we all study for the exam together? We can teach each other things. Dird, who had just gotten up, suddenly suggested, and Sho, who had always wanted to be in such a situation, was all for it. But, huh? It's going to be a group of idiots who can't even study for exams on their own, and we're just going to teach them, right? Oh, Aaliyah, that's terrible. Who are you talking about? Oh, come on, you're asking me that? I hope you appreciate my kindness in not telling you. Ugh, Aaliyah's messing with me. Idiot. Potato sprouts. Hey, what's with the bad language? You're really getting on my nerves. Palti said with a troubled hand on her cheek as the two argued noisily. Dird, Since the curriculum is different in each country, the content of the examinations for each of us is different, you know? There's no point in having too many study sessions, though. Ugh. I don't think I'll be able to study if I'm alone. Besides, I'll miss P and Pio the whole time. Aaliyah was the first to react to Dird's eyes welling up as if she was about to cry. Well, I don't mind, but you know what? My brain is different from Dird's, and I get a lot of high scores without studying. Dird looked puzzled. It's not like I can't concentrate when I'm alone either, Apuesta continued, raising a small hand in agreement. Palti smiled slightly at Aaliyah and Apuesta's comments and said, "Yes, you're right. It might be a little difficult to teach each other, but I think we can boost each other's morale by getting together, so, if you don't mind, let's do it." "Can we?" With those words, everyone turned to look at Sho. Naturally, there was no way Sho could refuse, and there was no reason for him to. "I don't mind either. I've actually been kind of longing for something like that." As he said this, Dird's expression brightened, and she stood up. "Wow! Thanks, everyone." She hugged everyone, which made her classmates look at her strangely. Mike was the only one who said, "Damn it. I'm late. What the hell were they talking about? I want to jump into that circle too." He clenched his fists in frustration. "Oh my god, it's too hot, get away from me. Where are we going to meet?" "First of all, Sho's house is out, right?" Aaliyah said, looking towards the now empty podium. They all nodded in unison. "Surely, there's no way you can study with Sensei, the source of all that noise around." Sho's persuasive words made Dird and the others nod their heads again. "Hey, why don't we take turns at everyone's house? I think it would be fun," Dird suggested, and it was immediately adopted. "Well then, it's decided. Before exams, classes will be until noon like today, so let's all go home once and get together." Yeah. Then whose house should we go to first? It's going to be fun.